So we're now going to switch gears and take a break from our presentations to announce this year's recipient of the Damon Runyon-Jake Wetchler Award for Pediatric Innovation. First, I want to sincerely thank Jean Singer and John Wetchler, Jake's parents, and Beth Dominguez of the Jake Wetchler Foundation for their partnership, friendship, and generous support. We first started working together in 2011, and their foundation started by supporting specific Damon Runyon scientists doing research with line-of-sight impact to understanding and treatment of AML. This annual award that will be presented today was launched in Jake's memory in 2016. Throughout the years, 7 Damon Runyon Fellows have been recognized through this program for their dedication to pioneering work in pediatric cancer research, and this year is no different. We want to thank the 13 fellows who applied this year. All applications showed great promise to impact the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of pediatric cancers. On a personal note, last year's retreat was the only time that I haven't been at the presentation of the Jake Wetchler Prize. The reason was that my own husband was in the midst of his treatment for an aggressive sarcoma, which turned out to be a rare rhabdomyosarcoma, which typically affects adolescents and young adults. We are incredibly grateful to the pediatric oncology community of researchers and physicians who were incredibly helpful to guide his treatment. I deeply appreciate the meaning and significance of this award, and I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to give this important prize each year and continue Jake's legacy. It's my honor to hand the stage over to Jean Singer to tell their story and announce this year's awardee.
Thank you so much, Young. This is indeed the human part of the program. This award is named for my son, Jake. Jake lost his life to acute myeloid leukemia when he was 20 years old, after beating stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma when he was 19. It is indeed a tragedy, and we need look no further than Jake's story or others to see why research in pediatrics is so vitally important. So let me share with you a few things about Jake and his fight against cancer. Jake was a philosopher, a poet, and a self-described manly man. It was quite a combination. He had deep brown eyes that looked right at you and met your gaze, a forest of thick brown hair, and irrepressible good humor that shone through in everything that he did. He had always been wise beyond his years, and in his physical presence, you could feel the clarity of Jake's thoughts, the strength of his beliefs, and the warmth of his heart. A high school friend said this about Jake: "You weren't just physically strong, you were strong in your convictions and comfortable in your own skin as you walked proudly down the hallway." Jake was strong in both mind and body, for sure. He was a second-degree black belt in the Korean martial arts of Tang Soo Do, and he loved to do push-ups. Once when he was 15 years old, he did 1,000 push-ups in a day, just for the joy of it. Not for me. Truth, integrity, and justice were important to Jake. If he had lived, he might have been a prosecutor. He loved the idea of putting the bad guys behind bars, and he loved the idea of fighting injustice. To Jake, cancer was not just a disease, it was an injustice. I know everyone in this room fights daily against the injustice that is cancer. Here's how Jake did it. Shortly after being diagnosed with AML, Jake accepted that he might die, even if he had the best doctors, even if he followed their instructions to the letter, even if he used everything under his power to fight it. The fact was, the odds were against him. But he made up his mind that no matter what, he would not let cancer steal his soul. He couldn't control his destiny, but he could control his attitude. Jake was the kid with the theme song from Rocky blasting from his hospital room. Before his many surgeries, he refused to be wheeled into the operating room and insisted on walking under his own power. When the doctors would ask him why, he would say, "Because I can, but when we get in there, I'll let you guys do all the work." Same thing for radiation treatments. One time after radiation, he not only refused to get in the wheelchair himself, but he put his 210-pound dad in the wheelchair, and Jake pushed it himself. It was Jake's way of saying in your face to cancer. Jake never had an ounce of self-pity. In fact, just the opposite. Once, while contemplating the fear that he might die in his sleep, he wrote in his journal, "It will make me stronger. I will love life better. I have the chance to fight nobly. I will go to sleep and wake up tomorrow knowing that a battle has been won and there is a full day ahead of me for celebration." When diagnosed with AML, Jake did not give up on life. Again, just the opposite. He decided to teach himself to play the guitar. He would sit up in his hospital bed and we would listen to renditions of old Johnny Cash songs or Bruce Springsteen songs, or tunes that Jake would write himself about life and love and death and cancer. It is clearly injustice that a young man, or any man with such indomitable spirit, so strong of mind and body, should lose his life to cancer. And why did this happen? It happened because we didn't have the treatments to save Jake's life. In fact, the existing treatments for Hodgkin's lymphoma were so toxic that they gave Jake a secondary cancer. For the Hodgkin's, Jake received 8 cycles of a protocol called Biacop, including the highly toxic drug etoposide. Jake was a guy whose body was a temple. He would not eat carbs after 7 p.m. because it would mess with his finely tuned metabolism. Yet here we were, infusing through a port in his chest a drug with a list of side effects a mile long: nausea, vomiting, decrease in red and white blood cells, hair loss, diarrhea, numbness, etc., etc., etc. And most notably, a new cancer or leukemia resulting from this treatment. And that's what happened. The drug that was supposed to cure him was so toxic it gave him AML, and that took his life. There's a Jewish tradition that when somebody dies, you say, "May his memory be for a blessing." And it always struck me as kind of an odd construction. Like, what is the "for" doing in there, for a blessing? And I just recently found out what that means. And it does not mean may we remember him fondly, or may his memory be a blessing, or may we remember him for a long time. It means may we be like him. Whatever goodness or wisdom he brought into this world, may we carry that forward. So now it is you who carry on Jake's fight. When Jake found out he was going to die, he asked that his savings be donated to cancer research because he didn't want other kids to have to go through what he did. So I say to you on his behalf, keep up the good work. When your experiments don't go the way you thought they would, when you think you'll never have enough funding for all the research that you want to do, whatever challenges you have, I hope that you will think of Jake and make a funny quip or do an act of subversion in some way that bucks the system, and tell cancer that you too are never giving up. We give this award to provide additional support to researchers whose work can impact pediatrics specifically. We know there's a pressing need for greater funding in pediatrics, and we are absolutely thrilled by the new partnership that Damon Runyon has with St. Jude's. Thank you so much for all the effort that went into creating that. Our award is a $7,000 unrestricted gift, and it is meant to give contributors to pediatrics an extra boost. And it's whether they need something in the lab, whether they need something in their personal lives, just to help them out, to say thank you, and to encourage them to continue the fight. We hope that their and your innovative ideas may one day lead to cures so that young people like Jake can live their lives and fulfill their promise. Thank you for listening. Okay, and now for the award. So first of all, thank you so much to our reviewers, Peter Cole and Lucy Godley, and always to my friend and colleague, Beth Dominguez. None of this would be possible without you. and to our incredible partners at Damon Runyon. We are so lucky to have worked with you all these years. So it is my honor to present this year's award to Dr. Chin-Heng Jang. Hello again.
Yeah.
I have to tell you that last night at dinner, just by random chance, Beth and I ended up sitting at the same table as Chin-Heng. And I looked at his name tag and I wanted to jump up and say congratulations. I had to wait until this morning to say congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for all your hard work and dedication. It's much appreciated. And here's your check.
Thank you so much.